Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my very first guest of this week is this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Terez Music. So I'm about to add Terez into the live now to have a chat with Terez about her incredible music. So yeah, let's add Terez in and have a chat with Terez. Hi
Hi,
Terez, how's it going?
good. How are you doing?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It's such a pleasure having you on the show today. To people that don't know who you are, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I really appreciate your time as well. So, if you're new here and you're like, who is this pink-haired little troll doll? I'm Terez. I'm a Canadian singer-songwriter and producer, and I just released my first EP called Sad Girl Summer.
So we'll dive right into the questions now, Terez. So for my very first question, so you've created incredible songs in the past and present. So what has been your most favorite song so far that you've created?
That's such a great question. I think it would either be Lonely, which is on the new EP, or La La La, which was my first single.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So you have created a song called Cake. What was it like coming up with the idea of wanting to create Cake, and what's like the meaning behind this song?
So creating Cake, I was in a session with, we wrote it during the pandemic, and so we wrote it over Zoom with me and two people from Nashville. And one of the people brought a track into the session, so it's pretty much like a track without vocals, and so you can write over that and it just can give a totally different feel. And so I was sent the track and I came up with the verse melody, and in the session we ended up writing up until the end of the chorus, and like that last line of the chorus, that's kind of like the summary of the song. It's kind of like, and in summary, you cannot have her cake and eat mine. And we were kind of stuck on it, but yeah, we came up with this idea of you can't have her cake and eat mine. We were like, that is so funny. Like, let's do it.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So you've also created a song called Hot Mess. What was it like coming up with the idea of wanting to create Hot Mess, and what's the meaning behind this one?
Yeah, so Hot Mess was actually written about kind of a true story. So I forgot my wallet in an Uber one night, and the next day I was like texting the Uber driver trying to get it back, and I just had to sit down and be like, okay, I'm such a mess right now. Like, I did not do this. And I actually sat down and wrote like Hot Mess there, just me and my guitar. And it's really just about finding like grace within like the craziness of life and laughing at yourself when you need to, and just finding humor in it.
So on to our very next question. So you've also created a song called This City. What was it like coming up with the idea of wanting to create this song called This City, and what's the meaning behind this one?
Yeah, so this city, I had just moved to Toronto, which is like across the country from where I was born and raised. And it was super lonely. Like, I think it's really lonely for anybody to move to a new place. Like, even if you know maybe one or two people, it's like you don't want to rely on them all the time. It can get just very isolating. And so I wrote this idea on my phone. This city makes me think of you. And after hustling and working my butt off in Toronto, I got invited to write at a song camp, which is pretty much like a very literal version of musical chairs, where all these creatives come, songwriters, producers, artists, and you get split up into different rooms. You write a song, and once you're done that song, everyone switches rooms, and you just keep writing until you run out of time. And so I went into one of the sessions with the idea of this city makes me think of you, and we wrote this city, and it was honestly one of the most fun sessions I've ever been a part of. We were so pumped when we came up with the chorus melody. I still have videos on my phone of us like jumping up and down on the couches and swirling around on like the office chairs and stuff. We were just jacked on this song we'd written. And I think too, it was really big for me, like personally, to see like, okay, I'm not the only lonely person in Toronto. Surprise, surprise, Terez. But also it was really meaningful for my career, and obviously a song that I really enjoyed and wanted to put out so that other people could enjoy as well.
On to my very next question. So you've also created a song called Sweat It Out. What was it like coming up with the idea of creating Sweat It Out, and what's the meaning behind this one?
So Sweat It Out is definitely like a sexy little number. Um, and I wrote that song actually in Nashville. I think it would have been in 2019. With, yeah, one of my best friends was a writer on that song, and this amazing producer named Adam Baha. And yeah, it was just like another really fun session. I actually went in there. And so Adam is a producer, and so he'll build a track as we're writing. And you typically go in with like a reference of like, oh, I would love a song like this. And so I went in with a reference song, and funny enough, he was like, oh, actually, like as an exercise every morning, I try to rebuild a track, and like I built it off the song that you said. And so we like already had a track ready to go. So it was a super quick session.
Awesome. So on to our next question. So what made you decide as a person, and especially as a like an artist, to get into like the music scene in the first place?
Sorry, what was that?
What made you decide as like a person, and especially as an artist, like to get into singing in the first place?
I mean, since I could really sing, since I ever could even just make noise, I think I've always loved singing. And when I was about 10 years old, that's when I started writing songs and just singing all the time. And it was always just such an outlet for me that, I mean, as a kid, you know, everyone's like, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a ballerina. And I was like, I want to be a singer. And that never really changed. And then when I was about 16, I really kind of started to gain that independence where I could choose to pursue something if I wanted to, and I started to pursue it at a very serious level, and started songwriting for other artists, and just, I mean, I'm completely in love with music, so it's just, I can't imagine doing anything else.
So on to our next question. So who would be your like all-time inspirational person or music artist in the music industry, and why?
I would say Ariana Grande, and I know that people are like, okay, like kind of classic cliche, but one of the things I really, really love about her is that obviously she went through quite a bit of trauma in the public eye, and I just love that instead of going out and like, she could have sold that story for thousands of dollars and done the interviews and done this and done that. But instead she just made an album, and she was like, that's all I have to say about it. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna let the music speak for myself. And I think that's such an indication of a true artist.
So on to our next question. So what does performing music mean to you, like especially as an artist?
Yeah, I think it's such an incredible way to connect with people and build community. And I think obviously like over this pandemic, we haven't had a lot of that, but I think it's so much more than just like, ooh, attention on me, attention on me. It's like this amazing facilitator of just people connecting. And I think sports is really the same way. It helps create community and culture, and I just want to give everybody like a big hug with my music and make them feel understood and heard.
So on to our next question. So if you could work with any top 3 music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why?
Black Bear, because he's so good. There's a female artist named Upsal who I'm obsessed with, and there's so many reasons why I'd want to work with her. Partly just she's such an inspiration, and musically Machine Gun Kelly, but I don't know how I feel about him as a person, so we'll see.
So I'll take your next question. So what have you learned about yourself as a person, and especially as an artist, like during COVID?
One of the biggest things for me is just gaining so much independence, because during this pandemic, that's when I started to learn how to produce music. And I find producing music is just so empowering. Like, it's so liberating to be able to start the creation process and take it to the finish line. And I think that's really cool. And through that process, I mean, I've learned that only I believe it's 2 to 3% of all producers in North America are female. And so for me, I've realized that it's now becoming much more important to me to be able to create a platform that really empowers specifically women and non-binary people to pursue this avenue. I just want to inspire anybody to pursue whatever it is they want, but for me, just seeing how liberated I feel, I want to make other people feel that way too.
So let's go to our next question. So like, what are the positive and negatives into creating your own music, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, the positives I think are really like apparent for most people is that it's just like this massive outlet, and you can just like, I use songwriting as journaling almost, so I can really like work through feelings as they come up and things like that. So that, I mean, that's one of the massive positives. I think the drawbacks are mostly like exterior drawbacks of just like external opinions and people's negative feedback, not necessarily like constructive feedback, but like truly just there to tear you down. I think that can be really challenging, and I think the way to combat that is to be really mindful about who you have in your circle, and what friends and family members you keep really close, because they can keep you grounded through that. And also realizing that like there's going to be hate. There's people like Mozart's piano pieces on YouTube have dislikes, you know, like, and he's arguably one of the most like prominent, meaningful musicians within like the last 1,000 years that everyone really seems to know, and he still has dislikes, so it's gonna happen. And honestly, it means that you're doing something right if there's people who are trying to hate on what you're doing, because I think the worst thing for artists is to just have people be completely neutral towards their work. I think it's so much cooler to have people either absolutely love it or absolutely hate it, because at least that means you're doing something.
So it's my very last question. So what's like next for you, like music wise, for the rest of 2021 that you like to announce on the show?
Well, no announcements just yet, because the EP came out less than a week ago, so I can't get too ahead of myself, but I've been writing a ton over this last little bit, and I have some songs I'm really excited about that I really can't wait to show people. So that's all I can say about that.
Awesome. Well, would you like to perform one of your songs on the show, by the way?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm just gonna make sure I'm tuned up, because these guitar strings are a little rough. Where are you from, by the way?
I'm from Australia.
Oh, you're from Australia. What time is it there?
It's like 7 in the morning.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. But that's really cool. Thanks for getting up super early to chat with me.
Welcome.
Yeah, go like crush a coffee after this. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
yeah, trust me, I'm having a coffee after this.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, I think I'm gonna play my song, Sad Girl. This is off my new EP, Sad Girl Summer, and if you like it, then you can go check it out. The link's in my bio. I only show you what I wanna show you. Only show you what you wanna see. It's a fantasy I'm making for you, and I can paint it perfectly. Yeah, I serve champagne and dance at the party. People with names, really somebody. Love it when they're looking at me. It's the only thing that makes me happy. You're gonna like what you see. Living the high life, but the real me is a sad girl with diamonds on her arm. Sad girl with a Louis Vuitton bag. Good girl without what's wrong, 'cause it can't be a sad girl when the camera's on. It's really saying that they know me, but no one knows the real thing.
something. Yeah, sometimes I get so goddamn lonely, 'cause under my makeup, but don't tell nobody. Says I shouldn't be shameless. And getting feelings if you famous. Oh, I'm a sad girl with diamonds on her arm. Sad girl with that Louis Vuitton bag. Good girl, you hadn't what's wrong, 'cause you can't be a sad girl when the camera's on. Sad girl with that Louis Vuitton, but a good girl that hiding what's wrong. This can't be a sad girl. Oh, mama, sad girl with diamonds on her arm. Mama, sad girl with that Louis Vuitton, but a good girl hiding what's wrong. This can't be a sad girl. No, 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 no. Sad girl.
Yeah. Terez.
Hey, there we
Wow.
go.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Well, I
Yes.
have to say thank you so much, Terez, for appearing on my show. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show today. Do you have like any last final thoughts for people on the show?
Well, one, I was going to say that I hope that song was able to like wake you up a little bit, because I am not a 7 a.m. person. That's my final notes. I'm not a 7 a.m. person. No, I'm kidding. But I do want to thank you as well for letting me your platform and having a quick little chat with me. I really appreciate your time.
Okay, so I lied. I tried to get you into my bed last night. I can't deny that it's you making my temperature rise. Oh, it's a fever, need ya, gets me higher. We should leave here, meet at bar on 9th. Friends don't do that thing I like. You got me burning hot, baby, don't be shy. Sweat it out, sweat it out. We could just sweat it out for good. Sweat it out, sweat it out. We could just sweat it out for good. 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 Oops, I know it's bad. It would ever even go down like that. Lips pressed on my neck. Just one taste and we know. Hands so hypnotic, I'm chronically wanting you here with me, swimming in ecstasy. Oh, it's so hard to breathe. Sweat it out, sweat it out. We could just sweat it out for good. Sweat it out, sweat it out. We could just sweat it out for good. Sweat it out for good. Sweat it out for good. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm. Okay, so I lied just one more time. Okay, so I lied just one more time. Oh, sweat it out, sweat it out. We could just sweat it out for good. Sweat it out, sweat it out. We could just sweat it out for good. Sweat for good.